swear to Christ, Todd McFarlane feels like sometimes he just pokes his head out of the ground just to assure us a Spawn movie's still coming, even though, yeah, we still haven't seen a Spawn movie as of yet, or Spawn anything outside of the comics, which got another retelling for, the return of Al Simmons. Look, I know I sound pissed off about this. It's just that, like I just said, it just feels like because news today has been announced that, yeah, a Spawn movie is officially in the works. You've said that, Todd, more times than I can count. And look, would I like to see a new Spawn movie in this day and age? Yeah. It would be very cool to see a new Spawn movie. I'd be open for it. It's, thanks to, the movies like Blade and Deadpool and, Watchmen, R-rated superhero movies do work. Well, Deadpool probably being the most because it's racked in the most money. But, yeah, you can't discredit, like I said, Blade or a few other R-rated superhero movies. But yeah, you can do a Spawn, and I would be open for a horror-themed superhero film like how Spawn is trying to be pitched. That's how it's trying to be. But, Todd, here's the thing. You keep saying that Spawn would hardly be in the movie, and it would be all about Sam and Twitch. Here's the problem with that. When people go to see a Spawn movie, they want to see Spawn. And not to discredit, Sam and Twitch. Those are great characters. You could do a whole movie around Sam and Twitch. I honestly think you could do a whole movie around Sam and Twitch. Problem being, it's kind of like if you go see a Spider-Man movie, and it's like 75% Peter Parker and 25% Spider-Man. Or even less than that. Like Peter Parker's only Spider-Man for 10 minutes of the movie. Like a total of 10 minutes of the film. So, yeah, when people go to see this new Spawn movie, yeah, they're going to expect to see Spawn and not be treated like the shark in Jaws, And that's an interesting comparison. But people went to go see, a horror movie not because of the shark, even though, and yeah, I will admit that if you could do it right, then, yeah, but the thing is that Jaws Jaws was a shark, and people figured, yeah, we're not going to see a lot of it because it's underwater, and the build-up's going to be good, but people know, even though, back in the 90s, Spawn was king, the difference being that people know who Spawn is. If you grew up in the 90s, there were a few things you knew about the 90s. Spawn was one of them. Okay? So people are going to know who Spawn is and expect another superhero movie, especially from depending on who you get to do trailers, then then we have a problem here because they're just going to show all the Spawn scenes, and if people, go to the theater and just expect Spawn and only see him for, about 11 minutes, and you could argue, well, Godzilla was only, in the original 1954 movie, Godzilla was only in the film for about 4 scenes total. True, but the thing is that people, even for an R-rated movie, expect a superhero movie. They expect the character to be in the film. It's the title character. They expect him to be in that film the whole time. And would I be cool with an idea of Spawn being... Yeah, honestly, I would be cool with it, but I'm speaking on behalf of the general audience who I know would be mad about not having a Spawn movie. I'm more angry about the fact that we've heard this song and dance from Todd McFarlane ever so often. That's kind of the thing here, is that it's kind of like Todd McFarlane. It feels like every once a month or every 3 months, he just pokes his head out of his office and goes, "Hey guys, the Spawn movie's still gonna happen, right guys? Right? That's fine, Todd. Just go back to doing whatever you do. Okay, I just want to tell you guys that the Spawn movie's still coming." And yeah, I think it would be cool to see a superhero horror film. And, Sam and Twitch are really cool characters. But again, people come to see Spawn. So, yeah. I mean, you could probably do a Spawn movie without the origin story. The best way I think one of the cool ways you could do a Spawn movie and still keep it horror, don't do the origin. Just have little glimpses back to who Al Simmons was, have him holding a necklace with Wanda's picture in it, or something like that, or just have minor flashbacks here and there, and yeah, or shit, how about you just have Sam and Twitch investigating Al Simmons' murder? That would would be cool. That's how that would be a cool way to tie in Sam and Twitch with Al Simmons. Have them connected. That way you can have Spawn constantly in the film, like the shark, comparing him to the shark in Jaws. But yeah, he would still be a constant force in the film. Or have it that Spawn, Sam and Twitch are investigating something and Spawn's in the background. That might be the case. Is that what might happen is that, what's probably going to happen is that they're investigating a crime, Sam and Twitch are investigating a crime, and it eventually builds up to something supernatural, and Spawn's, at their back from the shadows. That's probably what we're looking at here for this kind of film, is that Spawn is one step behind them or one step ahead of them, and watching their whole movements. That could be the case. So I know I sound like I'm bitching and moaning about this. I really do, and I apologize. I really do. But again, it's just like I've heard this multiple times, and we've all heard this from Todd multiple times. But have we seen anything? No. As far as I'm concerned, I won't believe it until I see a trailer. I will not. This might be the last time until I see like a director or some casting or something of that like. Then I'm done talking about this. I really am done talking about this until I see like some actual casting, and hell, even if I see a trailer, I'm still in the belief, I'm just now starting to realize that a Pacific Rim 2 movie's happening, and that movie was in development hell for years. After they got Stephen S. DeKnight, I was even in denial. I was in denial. Okay, that was a bad one. I apologize. Anyway. Again, I'm not hating on the idea. In fact, I'm very open to a superhero horror theme movie. And yeah, Spawn's probably the best character to do that with. Because again, a lot of it was inspiration for horror, even though it was meant to sell toys, I'm aware of that. But still, let's just wait, I'm just going to wait and see for what happens next. So you guys tell me. What do you guys think of a possible Spawn movie? Do you guys like it? Do you guys hate it? And how much involvement do you want to see of the Spawn character in the film? Just comment below, let me know, and once again, hope you all enjoyed this, and I will see you guys later.